Welcome back. Our conversations continue here at Davos 2024, and joining me now to talk about the roadmap, the growth plan for Hitachi India and its contribution to its parent is Bharat Kaushal, the Managing Director. Always a pleasure. Many thanks for joining us here in Davos. Let me start by asking you about where things stack up as far as your plan for the year ahead is concerned and that target of being able to contribute $20 billion to the parent.
Well, that target is on course, and that's for 2030. We have multiple types of businesses, more than 30 companies. So infrastructure, rail, power, we are already amongst the largest in the world. But India is seeing huge public investments. And this time it's public investment not at a lower level of international benchmark in terms of quality, which is a very big shift. So you can use the great Indian volumes to amortize costs and be competitive elsewhere in the world. In the other areas like digital payments, like education and health, we have been looking at the citizen life cycle as a singular approach and building a story all around it, so that once you connect someone, once you provide access with an open access policy, you can use scale and affordability to be done with speed. India is unique because while industry existed in 1.0 and 2.0 up to 4.0, society suddenly moved to 5.0. So it was a more entitled and empowered society. And that is propelling attractive investments into various sectors of the economy, especially in manufacturing.
Well, given the various verticals that you operate across, the different segments that you operate across, what's the kind of headroom for growth from here on that you foresee, given the fact that India finds itself in a position of relative strength in comparison to the rest of the world today?
Yes, I think we are the only people talking about building capacities. And building capacity, one has seen taking a pole position in digital. But now green is a very big new frontier, which is an interplay with a lot of digital as much as it is with asset management. And things like magnets, where India has constricted supply of rare earth, but using quantum computing tools, using Gen AI on all hardware and power sector across Europe to do maintenance in a very real-time scale, so that single-digit margins that plague this industry of capital goods is also broken, and you can start offering energy as a service or mobility as a service more efficiently.
By when do you expect this the single-digit margin jinx to end?
Well, I think in some areas where cost-to-income ratio is very high, like 95% in rail, just a small change in maintenance can make a lot of difference. I'm seeing that in energy storage solutions, in smart grids, as you get from ultra-high voltage to also distributing power in medium and low voltage, fast charging, for instance. They are very, very smart and intelligent solutions that are being built in India, for India, but also for the rest of the world.
From that rest of the world aspiration that we have of using India as an export base, as an export hub, how do you see this playing out for Hitachi over the next few years?
Well, I think at least for rail and power or energy sector, we are quite professed to that strategy. We think that in a large number of areas, the standards are not yet defined. And so there is transition challenges as well as breakthrough and foundational technology challenges. So you need to incentivize the upstream R&D design as much as processes rather than just outcomes. And where we are setting up, not just by our own money, but also in partnerships with state-owned companies, with financial institutions, and also with private corporates, I think we are just growing the canvas so that we can serve the requirements in India and overseas.
India now a region as far as Hitachi is concerned. How does it stack up in comparison to the others in terms of both growth as well as future investments?
So Hitachi has 5 regions, which is America, Europe, Asia. India and China were the 2 countries were independent regions. But increasingly, from a growth perspective, India will be a very big focus, and the board of Hitachi Limited may be coming in to
in 2024?
India. Could be, yes.
That sounds like that's almost on the cards.
Yes, I mean, there is a lot of keenness, and I think they're just agreeing on many things to do with the India strategy, including that one.
Okay, so what will be the priority then for 2024? And of course, what's the expectation and the hope from the board actually being in India? What would be on the agenda?
I think the big strategy in terms of pillars of energy, mobility, digital, and urbanization-driven opportunities, whether it's city gas, water. We just want to make sure that the solutions that we offer here are smart solutions, and they are next generation in terms of meeting the standards of both green and digital.
So 20 billion contribution to the parent by 2030. That's, of course, a plan that you are working towards. But let's talk about the more immediate term. Over the next 5 years, what could it potentially be?
See, the nature of businesses that Hitachi has, some of them need a 5-year cycle. You can't bring the change very quickly. In many other areas, by not waiting for pure organic investment all the time, but doing the technology transfer tie-ups, as well as providing access to Indian capacities to reach the best in the world markets, is where we are focused on. So we hope that in the next 3 to 5 years, we would make a significant difference to where India contributes to it.
Leave me with a number, ballpark number.
Well, 20 by 2030 is realistic. The rest we will play with the sequential order, and depends on how the geopolitical and economic tentativeness fades away from the rest of the world.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, Bharat. Thank you so much for joining us here in Davos, and look forward to seeing you and the board of Hitachi in India, but appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much for having me, Shereen.
Well, we will take a break here and continue our conversations on Davos 2024. Don't go anywhere. We're back in a moment with more.